Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast. I'm here with Mo Sabri today. Mo, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. That's great to have you here. So just introduce yourself to everyone. What you do, how you got here, etc.
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is Mo. I'm 21 years old. I reside in Canada and I dropped out of school to pursue all my business and just kind of general aspirations in the spring of 2018. Obviously, a lot has happened between that time and now, but as of today, I'm a trader and on the side too, I'm a fitness and sleep coach and I do some freelancing on the side as well, sometimes kind of to support myself. And hobby wise, I'm a competitive powerlifter.
Perfect. So I thought let's discuss your trading journey to start off with, because that's why everyone's here.
For sure.
So when did you start trading? How are you finding it? How did you get into it? What sort of inspired you to begin trading?
Yeah. So I found out first about trading, I believe it was the year 2017. I was still in high school at the time, and a couple of my friends from back in my hometown were doing it. I didn't know exactly what it was, other than I saw like currencies and stuff on it, but I
Yeah,
didn't exactly know like what you do. I didn't know it was like buying and selling. I didn't know it was the same concept as like stock trading.
yeah.
And then it was October of 2018, so it would have been about like almost 6 months since I dropped out. I was
Okay,
already doing SMA at the time. We can discuss that later on if you want. But
sure.
yeah, so I was doing SMA, but because it was my first year, I kind of wanted to explore like different ways of making money online. So I was doing the SMA. I still wanted to do like the fitness coaching as well. That was also like a big goal of mine. But I thought like, what's this Forex stuff? So obviously I got in touch with my friend. He kind of gave me a whole introduction. And then I didn't really get into it much until I saw your Instagram page. I believe like you're on my explore page or something. So
Yeah.
I gave you a follow. I kind of checked it out. That's when I joined your Signal group. It was free at the time.
Yeah, you've been with us right from the beginning, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So ever since then, it just, my knowledge kept increasing. And obviously, I started live funds, I believe it was a month after demo. So it was December of
So you
2018. It
got
was
quite
just,
quick into live trading and you jumped quite pretty much feet first into
yeah,
it.
exactly. It was just like a small $100 account. And
Yeah,
then, I made like small progress on it. And I thought like, why not put in more money? So that's what I did. And obviously, like every other trader that's serious, they lose a lot when they start out.
yeah,
And that's kind of what happened with me. And then the majority of 2019, I'd say like over 75% of 2019, it was just trying to get back to break even.
yeah.
And now starting at 2020, I'm at a point where, I'm green pretty much every month so far. So,
How have you found this year so far? How are you finding the virus affecting you?
um, as far as market conditions go, obviously like the pip count on some of the pairs is kind of ridiculous compared
Yeah,
to normal market conditions. Like it's not every day you see the Aussie dollar pairs like with a 50 pips top loss, you know what
for
I mean?
sure. Yeah,
Especially if you're like on the 1 hour chart. But
yeah,
as far as actually dialing in on trading, I feel like it's affected me quite positively just because, I don't really have an excuse to see friends at the gym. I'm working out at home, so I'm not spending time going to the gym,
yeah.
coming back, all that stuff. So majority of my day is just really spent in front of the screen. So I'm either looking for opportunities or I'm just kind of educating myself. So I guess you could say overall it's been pretty positive apart from the market
So
conditions.
you've benefited in a way because you're finding more time to actually educate yourself and have more screen time behind yourself, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like with these market conditions too, it's kind of, you know, exposing every trader to like a new realm, I guess you can say. Just
Yeah,
because this is something like, I'm pretty sure no trader has gone through a pandemic, at least like, most of the people around our age at least.
especially one sort of this sort of scale as well.
Exactly. So, people just aren't used to the type of volatility. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it as far as how I'm finding it.
Yeah, there's a lot of pairs are sort of trading in new areas as well, like push to fresh sort of price points, haven't they? A lot of the Aussie dollar pairs, I believe, dropped to sort of fresh price points. Obviously, at that point, you have to wait for the market to sort of print its own fresh structure down there on a lower time frame. So that's something new that everyone's sort of had to get around tackling.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so
remember, sorry, I was saying like a couple weeks back, I remember checking like the Aussie dollar pairs. I think they broke lows from 2008, and we all know what
yeah,
happened that year.
financial crash. Yeah,
Yeah, I know GBP USD as well, I believe broke all time lows.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was definitely interesting to take a look at.
Okay, great. So in hindsight, so you said, was it a month after you began trading, you hopped straight into a live account?
Yeah.
Now, if you could go back in time, would you have carried on demo trading? What would you have done that differently, or did you find jumping in straight on the live really sort of was sort of a sink or swim sort of scenario for you that pushed you and drove you further?
Well, I believe like everyone's different, right? For me, I kind of just use demo as a way to know like how MetaTrader works
Okay.
and how to execute trades, kind of get used to the pairs, how to look at trading view, et cetera, et cetera. But I believe everyone like once they get comfortable with like the bare basics, I'm talking like kindergarten level baby pip basics, they should at least put in a small amount. Every broker is different, but if you can start off with like a $100-200 account, especially if that money doesn't affect you at all, I believe it's very beneficial because with demo, there's no emotional attachment to that money. You
For
know what
sure.
I'm saying? Yeah,
You
with
don't get
live
the emotional
funds,
aspect.
exactly. It's a whole different world. Like I've seen people profit so much on demo, but then as soon as live funds come in, they're either entering trades too early or late, they're cutting their winners short, they're letting their losers run. A whole different world. And like I found as well with me, whenever I went back to demo, this was, back in early 2019 when I'm still figuring out strategies and
Yeah.
stuff. I found that when it comes to demo, I'm like not looking at my MetaTrader for at all. Like I can let like trades run 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Like I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But I find with the live funds, I'm like constantly checking. Like, all right, what's price doing now? How's the candle forming? What profit am I at? Do I break even? Do I do this? So it's definitely
You
like
have
a
a
different experience.
you have sort of a stronger concern and attachment to the money, which is something I feel like once you can get your live account to that point where you stop thinking of the money as money and start looking at it as numbers on the screen, is really when you will start seeing your sort of your account compounding and flying up there in growth. Obviously, at that point, effectively, you're treating a live as well. In essence, you've got that same mindset as it being a demo, which is where I feel like that sort of pivotal point in a lot of people's trading will come when you get to that sort of disattachment from the money aspect.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because like for me at least, and I'm sure like a lot of people fall in the same boat, whether it's like $5 you're losing or 50 or 500 or 5,000, there's still some type of emotional attachment. Like you lost actual money, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, for sure.
obviously it's all going to be relative. Like, a $5,000 loss on a 10K account is different than a $5,000 less loss on a 5 mil account, let's say,
Exactly.
because it's all about percentages. But yeah, I believe everyone should start with live funds relatively early, just because trading psychology, I believe, is what really makes or breaks a lot of traders.
For sure. Whilst we're on the sort of subject of psychology, how do you find the importance of sort of gym and your fitness routine in sort of keeping your mindset clear? When you've had one of them losing days, for example, do you find yourself going to the gym and sort of burning off more sort of anger, well, not anger, but sort of emotion at the gym, or
Yeah, because the thing about the gym, and every gym goer will agree with me, you'll agree with me as well.
yeah,
Just like, I forgot what hormone, like not dopamine, it's the other one, serotonin, I think. You just get like a lot of serotonin and just like lots of happy feeling hormones after you're done with the gym. And as well, it's just a nice way to kind of relieve tension, whether it's physical or mental tension. You just feel a lot better after. So yeah, if I had like a losing morning or something, let's say I trade like the New York session,
yeah,
and I had like a 2% loss, whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm in drawdown. It's probably going to affect me for the next hour or two, whatever. But once I'm in the gym, it's like, not only is it an escape, but you just physically feel a lot better and your head just gets a lot cleared. And with the gym as well, that's just another thing that, you're working towards. So maybe if you didn't get your trading goals for the day accomplished, you can still go to the gym, you can still hit that PR, you can still get one more rep than last week, for instance. And that's just another sense of accomplishment that can kind of override the loss that you took earlier.
for sure. Replace, well, not replace, but sort of if you don't hit one goal, work on another goal, and then build all your goals together, then eventually you'll hit your primary goals.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so at the moment, obviously in quarantine, how are you sort of finding your mentality at the moment? Obviously, with the lack of gym, are you finding it's affecting your mental state or what?
I feel, well, as far as trading goes, like I said, I'm in front of the screen so much. Like I'm
Yeah,
talking Like on a bad day, I'll be in front of him for like eight hours, let's say.
Shall we shed some light on your sleeping pattern at the moment as well? Because I know,
I'm down for that, but I guess instead of like getting sidetracked, I'll answer the
go for it.
original question with the mentality. So as far as like actual, trading and working goes, I'm probably more motivated than ever. But with the gym, because like when I first started my fitness journey, I was training at home, and then
Yeah,
I was always at the gym, even like, during Ramadan when I'm fasting, I'll make sure
yeah,
like I get some type of gym membership at a 24-hour gym.
right.
So just that sudden change, because like obviously this pandemic, it kind of hit everybody and a bunch of stuff went on lockdown pretty quick. No one was really prepared. I find that my mindset was like not less, but I'm feeling a bit less motivated. Like the intensity just isn't there. And at the gym, I feel like I can zone in a lot more. At home, this is where I live. This is where I relax. This is also where I
Yeah,
work. When I step into the gym, the only thing around me is other people working out and a bunch of machines and
for
a
sure.
bunch of mirrors. At home, you have your computer, your phone's still on you at the gym, but you're more inclined to use your phone at home, I believe, just because you
Yeah,
don't see everyone else around you working really hard. There's your bed, there's the kitchen. I just find that you're not as focused as much. So I'm still getting the work and I'm still maintaining what I have. But as far as like, especially the powerlifting progress, because I went from like deadlifting like over 200 kilos, like for the American people, that's like what, 440 pounds. Over that to, working with, dumbbells that go up to like 50 pounds or 20 kilos, that would be
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
So definitely like a whole switch, but the body weight stuff, it's all right. But I find that the gym definitely keeps my intensity and my focus at a complete maximum.
for sure. And I can completely relate to that because it's one of them things when you're at home, it's sort of in a sense a lack of motivation because you're around your other comforts. It's like, for example, you don't want to sleep in one room and work in the same room and work out in the same room and relax in the
Exactly.
same, like it's just so much going on in one space that it sort of just takes away from your motivation of doing something. Whereas goes back to that sort of age old thing that if you're around a group of five people that are pushing towards the same similar goal that you are, you're more likely to strive and go towards that goal. If you're around five millionaires, you're more likely to become that sixth millionaire than if you're around five sort of middle class, say normal working people. You're more likely to stick within that group. It is solidly all about sort of who you surround yourself with that will push you to that sort of next level.
Exactly. And I'm not sure if you read the book The Power of Habit, but there's a whole like habit loop that goes on. So there's the cue, I believe there's the cue, the actual like action, and then the reward that you get. So like for me, my cue to, get in zone with the gym is, I have all my gym clothes on. I pack my gym bag. I have my lifting belt, my water bottle, all my equipment. So like wrist straps, my gym shoes, all of that.
Yeah,
And especially in the winter, I'm like layered up. So once I'm dressed, I'm not taking this off until I actually go to the gym. And especially after I packed my gym bag too, and I had like, my pre-workout coffee, my pre-workout meal. So, everything is set up. That's like kind of my cue. Like, all right, it's time to go to the gym. The only thing I have to do now is grab my gym bag, grab my keys, get in the car and leave.
yeah,
Home, it's completely different. It's literally as simple as like, switching whatever pajama pants you got on, throwing on some shorts, taking off your shirt if that's like what you're into, I guess. And then that's literally it. Like
yeah.
there's no mental preparation where I feel if you're actually going to a physical gym, there's a whole
You sort of psych
pre
yourself up to it more.
exactly. There's a whole like routine that I go through. Like for me, like I said, the first thing I do have a pre-workout meal and
Yeah,
then I'll make my coffee. I'll start drinking my coffee while listening to some music that'll zone me in.
yeah,
I've
for
done my
sure.
coffee. Obviously like caffeine takes a bit to kick in. So by that time, I go to my room, I get dressed, I put on all my gym clothes, which is like compression pants, shorts, tank top, and then whatever else layers I got on, depending on the weather.
Yeah,
And then I grab my gym bag and then I leave. And then by the time I'm at the gym, I'm fully zoned in. I would have listened to my music, my caffeine would have kicked in. I would have done some like more psyching up and getting in the zone in the locker room as well while I'm putting my stuff away.
yeah,
But at home, you just don't get that same sensation. It's literally as simple as like, getting off the couch or bed or whatever you're on, going to whatever workout area you designated in your house, and then, you just get to work. Like there's no mental preparation, which is, I guess that's kind of, that plays a part why there's not really any real intensity.
Yeah. And also, I think in essence, it is the lack of equipment for me because I have dumbbells that just interchange the weight on, and just going to the gym. I'm quite a lazy person. I can quite happily admit that. But at home, it's having to, and I'm going to do a different exercise now, so I'm going to have to take all the plates off this dumbbell, put different plates on, etc., screw them all about. Whereas at the gym, it's just, right, I'm going to put these dumbbells down, pick them ones up.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a big thing that sort of plays with me at home.
Yeah, for me, with my issue at home is because like my passion, like I said, is like powerlifting. So I'm used to like working with heavy weight,
Yeah,
blasting music, really pushing myself like to the limit for like 1, 2, 3 reps if it's my heavy day. At home, like, to completely go a whole 180 turn and you're just doing like, body weight stuff or like light dumbbell work for super high reps. It's a completely different realm. Like, I went from like squatting heavy, benching heavy, deadlifting heavy to higher up push-ups, higher up pull-ups, and then, whatever I can manage with my dumbbells. So,
for
it's
sure,
definitely a different feeling, I guess you can say.
for sure. Okay, so I think that sort of wraps it up for the gym session. I think everyone will have a good essence of that. Shall we move on to your sleep schedule then?
Yeah. What do you want to know first?
Why don't you tell everyone what sort of times you go to sleep and wake up at the moment?
Okay, at the moment. Well, last night, if you even want to call it last night, I don't even have a complete grasp of night and day anymore. I slept at 6 p.m. and I woke up at 2 a.m. But like what's been happening recently is with this whole quarantine, and I don't know, for me, I just work best at night. I'll shed some light on that as I go. But man, I'd wake up anywhere between like 10 p.m. and midnight. Like you were shocked when I told you this. You're like, who the hell has
Oh,
breakfast at that time? Yeah, I'd wake up anywhere between 10 p.m. and midnight, and then I'd fall asleep at around what, like between noon and 2 p.m. So like the way I've been operating is I'll get all my stuff done, workout, trading, education, whatever the hell it may be, while the world is shut off. And then once the world wakes up and starts get going, that's when I shut off. It just, I don't know. That's just how it's been. And
how did you find that taking an effect on your social life at the moment?
with the whole quarantine, I'm not really seeing anyone anyway.
Yeah,
And due to the fact that, everyone is under quarantine, there's no real school or work unless they're essential worker. But assuming they're not an essential worker, so they don't have any shifts to clock into, people are up at night, until midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
yeah,
3 a.m. So I still catch people, and then I'll still catch people in the afternoon and in the morning right before I
yeah,
head to bed. So, it's not that bad, but I used to like follow a similar sleep schedule like in the summer and when I was in college as well, because I did college full time online. So it's not like I had to physically be there for the
all right,
lecture.
yeah,
I feel like, yeah, I didn't really see people as much, I guess you can say, like unless people were going out at night or I'd catch them in the morning.
yeah,
That's really it. But, people would go out in the afternoon for like lunch or like an early dinner or something, and I'd just be passed out in my bed. So,
fair enough. I suppose it
yeah.
sort of eliminates the distraction, lets you just get on with what you're doing, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Because like while everyone's asleep, like at my house, no one's, because I like my room's in the basement. This is where my office is as well.
Yeah,
I don't have people like walking around on the first floor. So they're not like banging on the floor. I don't have
yeah,
people talking above my head. And then as far as like, my phone goes, like I work with my phone in another room anyway, but I don't have anyone like texting me or calling me or, giving me notifications. So, I don't really have anyone to reach to other than like, my friends from across the globe, for example, for you. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because
definitely no
you always sort of
distractions.
catch me just as I'm waking up, and I'm just there like, okay,
Yeah, it's like, has this guy even slept yet? Like, what's
yeah,
going on? But one thing I found is like, I'm able to like switch my sleep schedule extremely like easily. Like, I remember it was for Ramadan. What I do is because we can't eat from sunrise until sunset, what I like
yeah,
to do is sleep the majority of that time just to
yeah,
make like the fasting period kind of easier, and
yeah,
then stay up all night to kind of rehydrate, replenish myself, work out as well, because I can't work out on an empty stomach dehydrated.
yeah,
I don't know how some
yeah.
people do that, but
So
uh,
you basically just flip your day about, so your night becomes your day, and then you kind of bypass it in a sense, don't you?
Exactly. And when I do feel like switching it, like I do it very easily. Like on the last day of Ramadan, I did it. And then the day after, I remember I slept at like 11 p.m., woke up at 7 a.m. like a normal human. And then boom, my sleep schedule was changed. So
Don't know how you do that.
neither
Well,
do I,
I
but yeah.
suppose this could lead into your sort of sleep. What would you call it? Your sleep. I don't know what to call it, but you do a lot of research on sleep and stuff, don't you?
Right. Yeah. Because with my coaching that I do to kind of like support my trading and just pay off my expenses, what I like to do is I don't like taking the generic approach of like, oh, I'm an online coach, DM me for programming or, whatever. Just because like, if you do the same as everyone else, especially in a somewhat saturated market, then
Yeah,
you're not going to stand out, especially if you're like new. You got to have some type of twist to it. So my twist was I'll use fitness not as only a means of getting you strong, in shape, dream physique, whatever it may be, but I want fitness to be a means of increasing your quality of life and really being efficient in your workplace, whether you're an entrepreneur or a trader or a full-time worker, whatever that may be. And sleep is literally the foundation of all of that. So that's why I'm really big on that and, do research and kind of offer, I guess you can say, sleep coaching. So,
yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
mhm.
Okay. Um, have you got anything else you'd like to add on to the end here?
I guess we can just dive into more of the sleep stuff
Go
because
for it.
like
Please
what
take
I
it
do
away.
exactly. Yeah, because like a lot of people would be wondering like how do you coach people on sleep? Like what do you do? Like tell them just shut your eyes and go to bed. But like you'll be surprised a lot of people, they'll wake up really groggy or they'll hit the snooze button a million times before getting up.
For
Or they don't
sure.
have a consistent sleep schedule. I know
Yeah.
I might be a bit hypocritical right now with mine, but
Well, yours is consistent in blocks, though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, a lot of people just don't have a grasp of sleep. Like, yeah, they may be sleeping 7, 8, 9 hours, the recommended quote unquote, but
Mm.
how many of those hours are quality sleep? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I'll be able to sleep like 5, 6 hours. Like, obviously, I don't do that consistently, but if there's a day where I have to sleep like 5, 6 hours, I'll make sure I maximize my sleep quality so those 5, 6 hours are worthwhile. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like a lot of people, they'll sleep like 8, 9, but they'll wake up groggy and they'll hit the snooze button a million times. It'll get them a while to, wake up and get going. They'll still need a nap midday, which is like, that's kind of a sign that you're probably not getting enough sleep. And another thing as well, like I don't think people realize how much of the population is just overdosing on caffeine every single day.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I haven't had a cup of coffee since the gym's closed down. So
I've
it's
never had a coffee in my life.
there you go. Like I'll have some green tea just because the caffeine content is so low. So it's enough to wake me up, but
Yeah,
I'm not like all jittery and stuff. Like when it comes to a cup of coffee, I'm ready to like hit a max squat of like 360 pounds, which is in kilos, like what, 160, 170.
mm,
I don't know how people can drink like 3, 4 cups in a day just to stay awake. Like I just find that complete madness. You know what I mean?
definitely. Yeah,
Because a lot of people forget like caffeine, it's literally a stimulant slash drug and it's the most consumed one. And just like any other drug, when you take too much of it, or like let's say like you're brand new to it, okay? You take some, you're all jittery, you get the effects, whatever. And then at a point you build a tolerance. So what do you do to kind of override that? You consume more and then you take more and more. And then there's a certain point where you just get diminishing returns. Like after certain amounts of like cups of coffee, it's just not going to be the same. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
So a
sure.
lot of people, they just end up being dependent on it rather than, using it as like a supplement. It
It's
kind of just becomes a crutch.
in essence, it's like chasing that first high. Like when people talk about, say, for example, a drug or something, you get that first high, and it's always going to be more powerful than any others that follow it. But then you're always chasing that, and you're always taking more and more and more, just trying to get to that sort of level that you once were at.
Yeah, exactly. And like I hear a lot of people say like for example, when if someone like has a coffee at like 10 p.m. and they're sleeping at midnight, let's say, just like random example,
Mm.
I'll be like, you're drinking coffee like at this like time of day. They're like, oh, like I can drink coffee and sleep like normally. But what a lot of people don't realize, even if you can fall asleep while caffeinated, your quality of sleep drastically goes down because with sleep, it's kind of like anything else in life. Like when you go to the gym, you want to zone in, you want to psych yourself up. When you go to work, you want to get into that mindset, like, all right, I'm about to do a 3-hour work block, zero distractions.
Yeah.
Sleep is the exact same thing. You don't want to be caffeinated. You want to be completely relaxed, both mentally and physically. So, like, I don't want you doing like 1,000 push-ups and heading to bed right after. It's not practical.
Mm.
And also don't want you to, like, you know, go to bed stressed out. So let's say if you had like a late night meeting, you're trying to close a deal, whatever, and it fell apart, don't go to bed knowing that, you're going to be thinking about that and like you're psychologically stressed, especially because in REM sleep, which is stage 4 sleep, aka, the stage of sleep where we dream,
Yeah.
that's where all the cognitive repair happens. And during that stage of sleep, the part of your brain that regulates emotions, that's at work the most. And stress and just like overall psychological trauma, like, I know that sounds dramatic, but
Yeah.
that affects that part of the brain the most. So if that part is worn down and you're going to sleep, like, just imagine the quality of your REM sleep. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get nightmares. Like for me, if I'm stressed or something, I'll get like some nasty dreams. So
For sure. No, I'm sure a lot of people are probably wondering. So, and without sort of revealing too much of your coaching, how would you go about coaching that? How do you get people into deeper sleep though?
yeah. So what I do with all my clients, they track their sleep somehow. So, they'll have like an Aura ring or an Apple Watch or a
Yeah.
Fitbit or whatever is able to track that sleep. And then what I have them do is they send me their metrics every single morning when they wake up. So I see how many hours they slept,
Yeah.
and then how many hours they were in each phase of sleep. So there's the light sleep, there's the deep sleep. That's right before REM sleep. That's for like more like physical repair. So, muscle tissue, hormones, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And then REM sleep. And then I kind of see like, where they're at. So if they're not getting enough REM sleep, then, we work on that. If they're not getting enough deep sleep, we work on that. If their issue is they're not sleeping enough hours, we work on that. Or if they take too long to fall asleep, like I've had people take like an hour to fall asleep. Me personally, I take like 8 minutes after closing my eyes. So,
Fair
you know,
enough. I
yeah,
can I can relate to that hour on one of them.
yeah. So I just see like, where they're at through the sleep metrics. And then I just kind of pinpoint like the gap, I guess you can say, and kind of just attack that full on. And what I also do is, obviously keep a track of that in a mass perspective. And then at the end of the week, I'll kind of give them a week in review. So I show them like what night they slept best, how many hours they slept of that, and how much of that was like restful, so deep in REM sleep, and what their worst night was. And then I kind of give them like a whole overview. So I guess like in trading terms, it's like going over like a market breakdown for the week, I
Okay.
guess you can say.
Yeah.
And then, I put in some notes and then I give them some short-term goals to strive for the following week. So let's say like like their worst night, they slept like 6 hours or something.
Mm.
The following week, I'll be like, make sure you don't get anything less than 7 hours. That's like your small little target.
Yeah.
Because the thing with sleep, because it's like it's more complex than people think, and everyone has different sleep issues. Like some people just sleep too much, some people sleep too little, some people just don't get enough quality sleep, some people are super groggy when they wake up, others hit the snooze button a million times. That was like a problem of mine. I can testify to that, and I've had like every single sleep problem there is known. I'm pretty sure people figure that out with the sleep schedules I'm getting. But yeah, so that happens. And because the thing is, because it's so complex, giving them those little goals, those little wins to go for, it builds up to that ultimate goal that, they consulted me for in the first place.
Okay. Okay, that's very interesting. To wrap it all up,
Hmm.
I'll ask you the same question that I'm asking everyone.
Yeah.
What's your definition of success, and where are you on that timeline?
Definition of success. That's a really good question. Oh, I heard you ask Justin this in the last episode. I didn't
Yeah.
think you were going to ask me as well, but definition of success. I feel like, well, there's different types of success too. You know what I mean?
But what's success to you? When you think I'm successful, when you can say them words, I'm successful, what have you achieved at that point?
All the goals that you gave yourself and that you're truly satisfied with where you are in your life. I feel like that would be it. So, like, for example, someone who goes into the game of trading or entrepreneurship, whatever it was, if their ultimate goal was, oh, I just want to make enough to quit my day job, whether that was like 5, 8, 10K, whatever, and just be financially free that way, you know, I see that person as successful in their realm. But if someone else is like, you know, I want to become a millionaire, but they're still like at a 600K net worth, they still got work to go. So I feel like it differentiates from person to person because everyone has different goals, lifestyles, issues, etc., etc. So I don't like really generalizing it. But for me, my definition of success and where, well, I give you the definition, but as far as like where I'm at, like I have really big goals. You know, I'm not gonna reveal that to the public before you know I get people like DMing me and asking me like, you know, what the hell are you thinking? You know, my family knows those goals. My really close friends know those goals. Like I can talk to you about it like briefly as well once we stop recording. But
for sure.
Like for me, I'm long ways away, but I don't like, just because I'm a long way away doesn't mean I'm not making progress and I'm
You're still
staying
very
static.
young as well. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was still in like college, university, whatever, like let's say I'm completing a 4-year program or 5-year program like the rest of my friends are, I'd still be in my 3rd year. And it's kind of just like school, you know, you go through your first 4 years and then you kind of look for a job, you get an entry level job, get experience, and then, you know, you work your way through promotions and raises. So I'm still young, and what I like to do to kind of just motivate myself, I kind of take a look like, all right, where was I last month? Did I progress? All right, cool. Where was I 6 months ago? Did I progress? Awesome. And then like, because I like thinking super long term, I'm talking like 10 years at least down the line. I don't really like short term goals are good to keep you motivated and to stack up small wins, but I don't think they should be like the focal point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're going to be only alive for the next like 5 months or whatever, or like 6 weeks, whatever short term goal.
Know.
You never know, but assuming that you live a average human lifespan.
Yeah, for sure.
And also like tell myself like, where was I last year? Like for me, like practical example, like real life example, a year ago, so April of 2018, this was back when like, you know, I blew like almost half of my trading account.
Yeah.
I just started learning how support resistance zone work. I barely knew how to plant like a Fibonacci level on my chart. Right. And I'm still kind of, you know, trying to get that consistency and profitability in trading. And then you look at today, like, you know, my analysis is somewhat accurate. Like my win rate is only like what, 30 to 60%, but my risk reward is way better. Like my risk reward before used to be like 1-to-1, 1-to-2 if I'm really, really good. Right now, if I get like a 1-to-3, I'll be like, yeah, that's like the minimum. Like I strive for like, you know, those big risk rewards. Like I know like Alex George from AMG FX, he goes for like those big risk reward trades. I'm kind of the same realm. Like I don't snipe 1-to-70s like he does, but you know, like 1-to-5s, 1-to-10s, 1-to-15s, those are kind of my style. So and then I'll, you know, a year from now, like let's say my trading account would have compounded however much percent, I'll take a look back and be like, oh, 2019, I was just starting to become profitable. I was just starting to really dial in on my strategy. And who knows where I'm going to be at a year from now or like 5 years. But, you know, as long as I'm stacking up those wins and constantly progressing and not staying static, because, you know, staying static and staying comfortable is probably like the worst thing you can do. Yeah. I say that's like a job well done until I reach that point of success that I defined for myself.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think that's a solid way for us to round this one up and finish it there. So thank you for coming on, Mo. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
If anybody has any questions for Mo, his Instagram will be in the description below. Head over there and drop him a follow and check him out. Yeah, so we'll round this one off and I'll catch everyone next